You're live.
Hiya, welcome to Thursday. We're doing a tea bag cozy today. Very exciting. But we're going to talk through deal of the day. As you're starting to come online, you've had a couple of really good deals. There's a couple of the peacock ones left. She did say she had it over here. No, I can't see it. Peacock ones left, which was the what's it called, the panel and a jelly roll, and the pattern to do the border that Sarah did with you yesterday, the steppy border. There's a pattern for that in there as well, and they're down to £35. We've sold about half of them, so if you still want one, they're still available. What else did we do this week that was on deal of the day?
There was a panel, wasn't there?
The panel was yesterday.
Not
What
panel.
was Tuesday?
What's the big square ones called again?
The big square ones.
Yeah, where it's got like a variety pack of
Oh, the layer cake.
layer cakes. That's the one.
Was there layer cakes?
I'm sure there was layer cake.
You had layer cakes on special. I didn't know that. Anyway, the specials, the deals of the day. Sarah's been so busy. Her head is still stuffed with what demo she's going to do and what she needs to do. So the deals of the day will still be on there. So go and have a look at them. We put a few new stuff on. What did we have in new? The Lulu, the fat quarter pack. Fat quarter pack. That's what you mean. She had that at the beginning of the week, and the wool. Jeannie Baker has driven down from Scotland to pick hers up, so you're all behind. You should all be doing that. And she brought me cake and a bottle of gin. How cool is that? So it was lovely to see her. We've met her on Zoom classes. So to actually meet her in person is just lush. We can't wait for shows so that we can see you all. I need to take a breath. So the Lulu had gone on as a fat quarter pack, but it hadn't gone on as full bolt, so that's gone on now. Okay, so you'll be able to find that, but pretty lush. So that's that. Today's deal of the day is bamboo wadding. Normally it's $18.95 for a metre. We're going to do it for today only. $13.95 a metre. Okay, so that's cheaper than the recycled stuff. All right, the 70/30, which by the way quilts beautifully. So if you want to try it out, now's the time to try it out. It is beautifully soft. If you've got any kids quilts doing, or ones that you want, it's beautiful to touch. Okay, it always seems really bad to quilt it. So that is deal of the day. Who's there? Who am I talking to?
Yeah, we got Sheena, Taryn, Eileen, Grace, Anne, Jackie, Jean, Carradine, and
Loads of people. Loads of people. How lovely. You all obviously like your tea bags. Before we go into the tea bag thing, remember I gave you that crochet thing, and after I said I was never going to do crochet lessons again. Well, I finished the blanket. Look at that. I'm really pleased with it. I love it. The wool was in my stash, this wool. I'm not sure whether it was a Mrs. Harrington wool or my mother-in-law wool. But I just needed something to go with it. So I've used Cherished. You know, the King Cole Cherished? And it is so soft. So now I need somebody in my family to have a baby boy. So it's finished. I even did the frill around the edge. I told you I would talk you through that. What I actually did was I picked it up and did double crochet all the way around. Yeah, double, with doubles here, isn't it? Singles in America. So I did a double crochet all the way around and picked up all the stitches and then added exactly the same stitch on the top. So love it, happy with it. It's finished. I actually finished a project. Look at that. Okay, teabag cozy. Now, it isn't anything that's going to tax your brains really, really hard. And I think it's actually back to front, because the clasp is there, and the pockets are going that way. So I think it's a bit upside down. So it's got 6 little pockets. I mean, there is room. You could get a lot of tea bags in there. Okay, so it's not that you are limited to only one. It actually works quite well. You could carry your tea bags in there. You could carry some sachets of sugar or coffee. Glasses wipes, if you use them, you could put those in there. Okay, it's a quick, easy little project. So I've even done a pattern look, haha, because I found a pattern on the internet and I didn't like it, so I changed it. So you're going to cut a 7.5 by 7.5 inch square. Okay, if you wanted it only like 4 pockets instead of 6, you could cut that down, I suppose. This one is a 2 inch by 3 inch, which is the claspy bit. Okay, it's this bit. And then the lining and the pockets is 7.5 by 21. Okay, and then I've used 1 meter wide interfacing, which I'm going to put on the pockets. So the one difficult bit is you want to concertina. We're going to concertina this into pockets, okay, like that. So I worked it out yesterday. That's not a Frixon, is it? Is that a Frixon? That if you go from one end, okay, if you go from one end, you're going to go, turn it around the other way, that's it. Let me move some of my rubbish out the way and then we can do it over here. Put that on there, like that. Okay, we can spread out then, can't we? Right, come from by here to by there. So we're going to mark it at 3 inch, okay, 3 inch, 5 inch, 9 inch, 11 inch, 15 inch and 18 inch. Now why I only had 2 inches and then 3, I suppose you could go at 17 inch, but it worked. So we're going to go with it, okay? So this time you want to, on the 3 inch line, you're going to want to fold it up. I suppose we should do it on here, and I can, yeah, you want to fold it right sides together, and then this one is wrong sides together. So if you start with the 5 and fold that as usual, and remember how to do bits of it. If you fold that like that and then fold that on there, I think you take it up to meet, yeah, take it up to meet that one. It's only going to give you a shallow pocket. Okay, so start again, Sarah Jane. You're going to fold your 3 inch, sorry, I'm going to iron them in. Fold your 3 inch right sides together. Give it a little bit of an iron. Then you're going to fold your 5 inch wrong sides together and take it up to meet, almost meet the next line, and iron that in. Then this line, so we've gone 3, 5, 7, no, 9, 9. So this one, you're going to do it right sides together. Okay, like that. Looks a bit squiff, doesn't it? And then the 11. Are there any questions while I'm fiddling with all this?
Sonia said it's a fab. I've always got to carry tea and coffee with me, as she's allergic to caffeine.
Ah, well that's good. At least we've. You could carry your cake round in the cake carrier that Sarah did. So we're going to do 11 wrong sides together. Yeah, you could carry cake round with the one that Sarah did, and then carry your tea bags with this one. Where have I gone? I've gone 11, so I'm on 15. So 15 is going to go right sides together. Now, maybe using a Fix-On pen at this stage was not an ideal thing to do. Permanent just in the corner would probably work better. And then 18, let's make sure I've done that. 18 is wrong sides together. So we're going to put the thing. Am I putting this in the right place for the camera? Yeah?
Yeah, fine.
Okay, so we've ironed all those in. So we've got squiff pockets, but you're going to fold this up. What have I done? Like that, like that. Ah, right, okay, they're coming towards me. And that way. That makes a lot more sense. They're coming towards me, not away from me. Like that, and then like that. Okay. So hopefully that should measure 7.5 by 7.5. Okay, so that pocket is going to sit on there like that. Okay. Oh, it's a bit smaller. The idea is to make this sit on the square. So I'm just going to move that one down like that. Give it a squirt, which will relax that line that I've already done. And I'm going to iron a new line in. Okay. As with most of my sewing, measurements are a guide only. And we're sort of drifting. Okay. Imagine that's all straight. Because at home I would have redone that. Okay. So we're at that stage now, and it fits my main square for my outside. And this beautiful fabric. Look at that. It's got all succulents on it. I love it. Okay. So with your interfacing, what we're going to do is we're going to open up our fold, and I'm going to put that in there. Okay. So you don't want it to go over the edges like that, and then you're gonna pop one in each of the folds. All it does is just give it that little bit of stiffness so that they stay flat, straight, and don't bend when you're trying to put your tea bag in. Any questions?
No,
Comments?
Linda said what a good idea.
Thanks, Lind. So, right, like that, and then we're going to iron that in. Okay, it doesn't matter which side you put it on, because ultimately you're not going to notice. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to top stitch each of those folds. Okay. So I'm going to increase my stitch to a 3 or a 3.5, depending on what look you want. And I'm going to pick a point on my, I've left my needle in the middle, and I'm just picking, you know, you've got markers on your foot. I'm going to go to the, I think it's 1/8 of an inch, really. So I just follow that line roughly. She says, veering off the edge. So any other comments while I'm working my way through these?
Leslie says she's got a friend who's allergic to caffeine and this would be her birthday gift.
Ah, yes, because you could give it with a little pack of decaffeinated. I've heard of people, some people are allergic to the strangest things. Do you know what I mean? Like normal things. Now that hasn't ironed at all. Look at it. Why is that not ironed? It's shiny on one side. Should iron? See, that's talking. You've got to press them for at least eight seconds. Apparently. And I forgot. That's me talking. I think I've actually sewn in the other one. Oh yeah, that's stuck now. That in there. Okay. So where's the other one? The other one going in there, isn't it? Like that. Yeah, people, I found people are allergic to a range of things. Proper range. Right, so last one, we're going to do that there, like that. I'm not going to mess around with this. And I've done it on the wrong side because I've got white cotton in the bottom and pink on the top. Never mind. Right, so we've done that. However that goes. This way, no. That way, that way. Oh no, I've got pink on both sides. There you go. So we got that. Put that to one side. With this, throw it to one side. With this one, this is the clasp. We're going to do it like we do handles. So I'm going to fold it in and iron it. Fold this in. Should put a bit of a hem there, so it looks neat when you put it all together. It doesn't matter about the other end because the other end is going to be sticking, is going to be in your seam. Okay, so put that one in like that, and that one in there. So who else is missing Sewing Bee? I'm considering, because I didn't watch Sewing Bee until last year, I'm considering going back and looking at all the ones that we never watched, because it proper got my attention, and I liked I don't know whether anybody watched the jewellery one, All That Glitters. Quite like that one too. I'm not a big reality fan. Here's a thingy. I want an unpicker. Can you see an unpicker? Oh, there it is. It's right in front of me. Right, I'm going to use that. There we go. I've been having trouble getting things like this through. It all gets stuck and then gnarled up. Okay, so I've been trying to come up with ways to get it through, and I found like a picker, or what's the, like a I can't think what they're called. What's it called? You know when you make a an owl, an awl, A-W-L, awl, an owl. You can get an owl under there, but an awl you'd get under there. Okay, so I've done that. What's next? Right, so we're going to put our 7.5 by 7.5 down flat. wrong side up. We're going to make sure that our pockets are going the right way because I've got directional fabric on the outside, so I need to make sure that my pockets are in the right way. No, we're not. We're going to put that one down face up, and we're going to put that one right sides together like that. With our catch, we're going to lay it along the middle pocket, okay, and we're going to have it so that it sticks out a little bit there. I'm going to pin that in place. Normally I'd baste it, but I'm a big one for basting little things like that in place. But there we go. So, anybody got plans for the weekend, or are you just going to stay in and watch Sarah? Everybody going to sit and watch the telly? Well, that hasn't gone very straight, has it? Never mind. It's supposed to be quite wet this weekend, and I apologise for that because we had new furniture arrived last week and it's done nothing but rain since. We actually sat outside yesterday, the first time in ages. I had to come in because it got cold. I mean, this time of the year it shouldn't be this cold, should it? Now I'm putting a fair amount of pins in because I want to hold the pockets in place. Now you could go round before you do this and baste it all so that the pockets stay shut. Now we need to leave a space. Now I left a space over here. I think, yeah, leave a space opposite your clasp, okay, which will become apparent in a moment. Okay, so move the iron so Drew doesn't burn himself. Now I used edge of foot. Rather than picking a point on here, I just used edge of foot, and I'm going to follow the shortest fabric and do edge of foot. That way you know that you've caught all the way round. If you do it at a 1/4 inch, sometimes it doesn't catch underneath. You've got a good chance of catching everything now. Okay. I'm just going to go all the way around. So, anybody coming up with some good ideas for the weekend?
A lot of people watching Mum and the football.
The football? Don't do football.
Mum's just put bamboo wadding now at, I think she put there 13.95 PM. I'm assuming she meant.
Oh, per metre.
Oh, per metre. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought she meant that's the time then. So that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, this afternoon it's £13 a metre.
Okay.
So now I've left my stitch long, and that wasn't an intentional thing. You have to remember to take your stitch back down to the 2.5. Right, okay. Now what you need to do now is clip your corners. I had a rotary cutter accident this morning. I've had to have 2 plasters because it was a bit deep. It's going to be sore later. So we're going to take the corners off. Mind you don't snip your stitches, but it lessens the bulk in your corners. All right. Fun. Yeah. Now we're going to turn it out through here. Now I like to fold back my seam, you know, by the gap, so that it's, if you're going to do it by hand, you'd be able to see it, but we're going to top stitch it, so I suppose it doesn't really matter. But you can, by ironing it in place, you know where it's supposed to fall. There's a lot of bulk there, mind. I did try trimming it yesterday, but I don't think it made that much of a difference. So make sure you lock stitch at your gap. That way you can be a little bit rougher pulling things through, like me. And you're going to push out your corners. There's my gap. So there we are. So any questions come through?
Mary says she's fed up with the football, so sends hubby upstairs to watch it on portable, so I can watch Sarah on the big screen.
Yes, that's the way to do it. Right, okay. Oh, I know why. If you baste it, you don't get that. Okay, if you baste your pockets down in the beginning, I thought I'd missed it, but it's actually in the gap. So the amount of times that I've taken something apart because I thought I've done it wrong. What was I doing the other day? Making bags, I think, and I unpicked it because I thought I'd done it wrong and I hadn't. And then that's more annoying than getting it wrong in the first place, isn't it? So you're going to roll your seams like this. Now you could, I suppose, interface your outside, but there's no need. Your tea bags are going to keep it stiff anyway. So I'm going to finger roll all the way around the outside. We're going to iron it all down and then we're going to top stitch. No, we're not. We're going to put the clasps on. Now you could, instead of using the this bit, you could sew elastic into there, okay, so that the elastic sticks out. Lay it exactly like this clasp thing. And then put a button on it. You could sew a button onto it. I'm actually going to use the cam snaps because I love any excuse to use them these days. Now I know how to use them. So I had my boy round for tea last night, which was lovely. He wasn't able to make Father's Day dinner, so he came round with his girlie. And I do like my kids as adults. I mean, I like them as children. Don't like other people's children much. But there we go. So we fold that so you've got it all nice and neat. And then we're going to put an iron on it. And then we're going to put the clasp on, because I keep forgetting that bit. I mean, you could put a buttonhole. If you made that wider, you could stick a buttonhole on it. Remember what I said about handles last week? Whatever size that you want it to end up as, you need to have it 3 times as big. Because if you start with a 5-inch, you're going to fold it towards the 2.5, and then you're going to fold it again, so it'd be, no, yeah, you're going to fold that in, which then would make it down. Yeah, it needs to be 3 times bigger. 3 times bigger or a quarter? Carolyn, is it a quarter or 3 times? Anyway, you need to work it out. I'm not very good at this. Did you know that? I have ideas, but I make about 40 different prototypes to get the one idea out. Okay, so I'm just going to stick the iron on there. Try not to burn myself too much in the process. Right, cam snaps. Like my bag, that's pocket to go bigger. Pocket to stay at home. And puts my cam snaps in. How cool is that? This was beautiful material. Taryn had this material and made a quilt. She made the all squared up quilt with it. And it looked beautiful. Beautiful it did. Okay, so what colour snaps are we going to go for this one? I used those last time. Got a dark teal. Will that do? That'll do, won't it? Nice and bright. So we need a male one and a female one and an outside. There we go. I'll try and make sure that I put the lid on that because I've got a big habit of knocking things over. So you're going to fold it in half and you're going to work out where you want your poppers. Now I've done it back to front again. Really, it should be on the other side, okay? But this is for Chinese tea, because don't they read books backwards? Don't the Chinese read in China?
I don't know.
China and Japan, they read them from back to front. I
think they do in Japan. I don't know about China. You might do.
Okay. I'm only saying about that because you use most of the tea comes from that end of the world. Right, I'm going to put the male on here, and as all males, it's been a bit stroppy. Right, okay, so you put the back of your cam snap into the cap at the bottom, line it all up, give it a squeeze. Okay, there we go. So we got that one. Now where your gap is open, you need to work out where your cam snap's going to go. Okay, so I reckon it's about there. And we are going to use a little bit of the stuff that's left over. I'm going to fold it over to give it a bit more stability. So I'm going to put that through there. Any questions?
Carol says I love ironing and catching up on TV. I think that's what she's doing on the weekend.
Ah, I used to do that. Put a film on. Doris Day film. Perfect. Okay. Squeeze them together. I've got so many clothes in my wardrobe. Oh!
I've done it the wrong way
I've done it the wrong way round again. I do this every time. Okay, talk amongst yourselves. I won't be a minute. So, any other questions? Go back through. Talk to me.
Carolyn says, not sure what you're trying to explain when you ask me the mathematical question. I drift off.
When you've got the handles, you start with a 5-inch and you end up with a 1 1/4 or about 1 1/4. So that would be 4 times, wouldn't it? 1 1/4 and 1 1/4 is 2.5. Yes, you need a handle 4 times bigger. I did this last night and I had to take them all apart, but I did it on both of them, and they're not easy to get off once you've done it. Not when you do a granny squeeze like that. I need bigger things. This is très annoying. You're going to find bits all over the place. Sorry, Sarah. You've got to get that off. There we go. No. Any other questions? Drew's got an interview later.
No. I think Taryn and Helen all said 4 times as well.
Yeah, cool. It's one of those things that I struggle with mathematically. Right, so we want a female, don't we? That would be my next thing, is putting on the wrong one. Okay, so remember that we want the snap bit on the outside. So let's make sure that's over the hole. So we're going to put the back bit inside to come out that hole there. There we go. Okay, I've got a female bit. Right, so where are we? 35 minutes. So Sarah is on Chanda, the craft store. She's on at 6 and 8 on Saturday. Sean will be updating you often, okay? So 6 and 8 on Saturday, and there you go. So that'll work like that. All right. I'm going to top stitch 6 and 8 on Saturday, and then 3 times on the Sunday. So it's a good job. It's going to rain, isn't it? You'll be able to. You've got an excuse then to stay in, and not have to be in the garden. I'm going to start my top stitching. I want it that way around, don't I? And start it by the gap, so that I know I don't lose track. Okay, so you just go all the way round. Okay, now you're sewing on the pleats, so you need to make sure that you go slow over the hard bits, so that your needle has a chance to pick it up.
Eleanor said, what about Velcro?
Yes, Velcro is always an easy way to do it. I find Velcro tends to pick up all the dust. If you're carrying it around in your handbag, you can pick up all the dust in the Velcro and the hairs and stuff. So. Okay. Sarah's foot is a lot more heavy than mine. Okay. So going all the way round. Okay. Nearly there. And then we're going to sew 2 lines at the middle. Alright. I'm going to not take my eyes off it. Okay. There we go. And hopefully I've put the pockets on the right way. Now you're going to fold it in half. You would tidy all that bit up. Either sew your ends in or chop them off. You need to fold it in half, like that. Now if you've used the starch before you start, you'll find that things iron better. They stay crisper. Your lines do. Okay, now on my, I'm going to take it back here, and on the foot I've got the gap where the thread goes through, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew down there. Now I want the pink on the outside, don't I? No, I'll go with the white on the outside. So I'm going to line that up there. And I'm just going to sew on either side of that line. So you want 1/8 of an inch on either side of that line, just to keep the pockets down. Okay. So we're going to go down that side. To the bottom. I'm being lazy and I'm going across. And then you go Forget to take my foot off the pedal. And there you have it. You can get your tea bags in there then. Where did the other one go? Let's throw it down there.
Sure.
Ah, there we are. So your tea bags then will fit in there. Okay, so ha, and that's another Thursday done. So It's really easy. You just, all you need to do is make sure that if you've got directional fabric, that you're cutting it in the right direction. And that's just one way. I mean, there were hundreds of different ways of doing it. If we'd have had a lot of time, I wanted to come up, because we called it teabag cozy, I was going to come up and give you one that looked like a bed when it was shut. But it got to yesterday, and I thought, no, go with the first idea. So that's me for this week. That's us for this week. Drew's off to do an interview. He doesn't want to be our cameraman anymore. He wants to fly from the proverbial nest. Right, I'll put this up on the I'll put it onto the website. It's only going to be a £2 pattern anyway, a digital download, but call into the shop if you want one and I'll print you one off. That's it. We'll see you next week. Have a wonderful weekend. Don't forget to watch Sarah, and if you don't catch her at the time, remember that you can go on to their website and catch up then. And they also put it on YouTube, I think, eventually. So that's us out. Okay, bye.